Good morning, everyone. How is everyone on this fine Monday morning? Not sure how many people we'll have today because it was probably a heck of a weekend for a lot of people. At least I hope it was. Hope everybody had a wonderful time over the weekend. I know that we have quite a bit going on in the world today. Quite a bit going on. And I'm sure that we are going to be delving into a good portion of it this morning, at least for the next hour. Good morning, Alex. Are you all set up over there?
Working on it.
Ready to rock? Yeah, you look very intense right now.
I'm clicking buttons.
There we go. As long as it's you clicking buttons and not me, I think we're okay. Oh, my goodness. So you got to tell everybody what happened over the weekend, Alex. And you got to show them.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get through your welcomes and get everybody loaded up, and then I can share the story.
Okay, wonderful. Let's see here. Hey, Dave. Good morning. Well, I don't know whether Dave's not connected yet or not.
Guys.
There he is. You're hanging out, creeping in the background. We're so on to you, Dave. Have you talked to James today? Is he going to be joining us?
I have not talked to him today. I've been on the road myself.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in days. I don't know what's going on with him. But we do have a special guest today, everyone. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Well, maybe I will in a while, but we do have a new sponsor, and that new sponsor will be joining us today. And I'm just so excited about it. It's going to be just wonderful. But let's say some good mornings here. Let's see who we have loaded up already this morning. Sherry from East Tennessee is here. Lisa Maria. Good morning, Lisa. Joy is here. Good morning, Joy. Andrea Lynn, 81. Magic. Lee is here. Cindy Hayden, 59. Rick Sr. Jason Coons. John Gwynn. Good morning, John. Brian.Dellett.1 is here. So, hey, everybody. Once again, everybody go to Brian Dellett's profile on TikTok and give him a follow, please. We're trying to get him on the show, but he's got to get up to 250 followers in order to be able to come on the camera. And he's doing some wonderful things with the veterans for here in America. So please go over to Brian.Dellett.1 and follow him. We need to get him up to 250 people, and I'm sure we will in the very near future. Let's see. Lee Cravens is here over on X. Good morning, Lee. Earl Shannon on YouTube. Good morning, Earl. Christy B from Hayesville, Kansas is here. Donna Fox. Good morning, Donna. PJ Party Peggy here. PJ Party said, morning, my three stooges. Oh, my gosh. I think we're going to have to dole out some discipline to Peggy. Dana Mackey.
I got a finger on the mute button, lady. You better watch it.
Exactly.
And I've been called worse.
Yeah, no kidding. Me too, Dave. Dana Mackey's here. Amanda Thomas is here. She said, I love your show from the UK. Well, welcome in, Amanda. GG20 is here. Brian Yeager, Vicky Veronic, Joni Singleton 8, Towie Bixby. Good morning, Towie. D is here. Deb S from Central Massachusetts. Wendy, Nurse, everybody's piling in. Sassy Minnesota Girl is here as well. Let's see who. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Oh, I've got to get this little. Hold on, everybody. I'm trying to get my screens appropriately positioned. David Morales is here over on YouTube. Yes, David, it is going to be a great week ahead. It's a great day today. We are rocking and rolling. All right, let's see here. Alex, what do you think? Should we do some indices or should we tell your story first?
We'll get through our opening indices, and then we'll do our farm report if that's all right. So,
sure.
And then we'll share some tales from the farmland. Welcome in, everybody. Good morning on this amazing Monday, 12/8/2025. Kind of mixed bag of tricks today. Across the board, S&P 500 down 30 points to 6,840. The Dow is down 198 to 47,456. NASDAQ is down 80 to 23,497. Looking at the commodities market, kind of up, then kind of down and all over, but still a lot of all-time high activity. Gold is down $19 to $4,223. Silver is down 70 cents to $58.35. Barrels of crude oil down 87 cents, currently sitting at $59.21. Looking at the crypto market, pretty much a straight line today, kind of up and down just a little bit, but Bitcoin is up 0.19% at $90,051. XRP sitting up 99.99% at $2.08. Ethereum up 2.5 at 3,011.18. Stellar Lumens XLM is currently up 2.2% at 24 cents. Cardano is up 3% at 44 cents. So again, kind of not big gains, not big losses, but it's a strange world today on a Monday. Looming information, I think, from the Fed, and a hawkish cut was an article that I read. I don't know. We'll see. Whoa, look at that. You got yourself a hot cocoa with a little
gingerbread party. Let's go.
So really the only drop today worth mentioning, there were only 3 from 2017, December 8th, drop 304. It is a link to a YouTube video, and it says, "These people are sick." If you click on the video, guess what? It's not there anymore.
Yeah, not surprising. Not surprising. Laura McCrae is here. Martin's WB. Charlie, thank you for the gingerbread party. That was cute. Had never seen that one before. Let's see here. King's Girl 1974. Jenny O said, "Good morning, Three Musketeers." I like that one way better than I do the other one. Did you hear that?
I shall be D'Artagnan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Beach Chair Farmer is here. Ooh, that was cool. Thank you, Brian. Let's see here. John Gwynn, thank you for all the gifts. It's really sweet. Mary Lees Brown. Let's see here. Lisa Maria said it is her son Sam's birthday today. Well, happy birthday, Sam. Happy birthday. How old, Lisa? If you want to share that information, I don't know if you do or not. Kelly Thurman too is here. So Kelly, I think I showed you guys last week, she had sent me that cowboy candy. Oh my God. I finally tried it. I sat and ate half the jar in one sitting. In one sitting. It was
what did you pair it with?
Nothing.
You don't need anything.
You don't need anything. Oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Thank you again, Kelly. Let's see here. Beaver is here from Colorado Springs. Pure Blood, Holly Johns. Good morning, Pure Blood. Glad you made it. John Glenn said Lisa Maria named her son after you, Sam. Boy, if she did, that would have been some serious prophecy, I'll tell you that. Oh, let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, everybody. A couple of things. Number one, please, if you're on TikTok, share this live out. We're trying to break this algorithm. We got, a check mark or a warning or whatever the hell it was. So if you could share out this show all day, not only on TikTok, but on X, Rumble, YouTube, and Facebook as well. We're trying to break out of this algorithm, and I'm sure we'll do it. But that would be appreciated.
And I found out a few more things, Sam. If people can heart you, that promotes it. If they can tap the screen and get 10,000 every 10 minutes, that pushes us out. Top Crop helped us with few pointers on that too. So
wonderful. Thanks, Dave. Yep. Gary Murphy's here. Good morning, Gary. Who else we got piling in here? Everybody's sharing out the show. That's great. PJ Party said, "Sam, if you got a P.O. box, you get a lot of good things." You know what? I'm not afraid to share my address, and I did with Kelly. Believe me, if people want to know where I'm at, I'm here. I'm ready to go. So I'm not hiding from anybody.
Ain't nobody wanted to go to LA anyway.
Exactly. What am I worried about, right? Exactly. All right. Let's see here. Dave, do you have a report for us this morning?
I absolutely do. And I wanted to let you guys know, Sam may be interested, but we had a horseradish party. So if anybody's interested in some freshly ground horseradish.
Oh my
gosh.
I
know Alex probably would be. And
you have my address. Yeah. Just send it on over.
Okay,
Dave.
We'll send it on over. That sounds like a plan. I hope everybody's having a great Monday. It's chilly and snowy here in Iowa. We're in central Iowa for a farm show today and tomorrow, and we're up in north central Iowa, and there is about probably 20 some inches of snow on the ground up here. And it
Wow.
was -3 last night as we were driving around picking up a few people from the airports last night. So
Wow.
it's a different world up here for sure. And
I'm
early.
gonna need you to keep all that north, please. Thank
I
you.
understand. I understand. Nope. Corn is mixed on the day. Soybean is down 8 to 11 today on a Monday. Wheat is down 1 to 2. Cattle is down just a little over 1%, and hogs are up 0.3%. Good and bad news. I know China's buying some stuff. They're about a third or fourth rate into what they said they were going to buy into January. So we'll see how that plays out. They're going to have to pick the pace up to keep up with their numbers that they promised. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Ooh, look at that little kitten on my head. Thank you, Mary Louise Brown. Benji 1959. Big Ben is in the house. Good morning, Ben. You said you were out picking up people at the airport?
Yeah, there's a lot of delayed. No, this is the farm show. This is on the farm show. We're setting up for a crop. We're starting a new farm podcast, and we're going to be promoting it on YouTube and stuff like that. But it's going to be called Crop Talk, and we're going to be doing all different types of crops, from blueberries to cranberries to strawberries to coffee, and we're going to show how those are planted, harvested, and all that stuff across the world, and kind of be connected to Top Crop on that side of it. So,
well, when you get everything set up, Dave, we got to give us all the details so everybody can follow.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. We're getting organized.
Not to be confused with dingleberries.
No, I will not be harvesting any of them anytime soon.
Exactly. Mama Bear just showed up. Good morning, Mama Bear. So we had my family, I have a big family. We have the Shalhoub side of the family, and we have the Joseph side. The Joseph is my mother's side. Well, my mother's family, my mom was one of 13 children. Okay.
Woo.
So you could imagine how big a family I have on that side. In fact, for years, we've rented a hall here in Los Angeles, and 3 times a year for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, we would all get together at that hall. And it would be anywhere from 200 to 300 people. Aunts, uncles, cousins, you name it, right? And we did that for years. In fact, the LA Times actually did a story on us years ago because of this family reunion that we have every year. Well, now it pared down. It's much smaller now. We do it at my niece's house or my cousin's house or whatever. But over the weekend, I had an interesting thing happen. It was the get together for Christmas for my extended family. And I'm not going to use any names, but there is a particular cousin of mine who we have had our issues in the past. And he wound up coming. And I haven't gone in a couple of years, but I went this year. And it just so happened that, talk about God, the universe, whatever you want to call that entity, there was only one spot next in the table next to me when he came in a little late, and he came and sat next to me. And that led us into a conversation. And he is very far left, and his ideology is much different than mine. But what I found very interesting is that, and this is an extremely intelligent individual. I mean, I'm sure his IQ is off the chart, much smarter than I am. But he and I have had our differences over the years. But he used to come when we were kids. He would come to our house stay the whole summer. He's a musician, right? When I say he's a musician, I'm really understating that. He is an icon in the music industry. And when it comes to talent, I don't think there's another person on the planet that has more musical talent than my cousin. Now, I'm not going to use his name because I don't know whether he would approve of that or not. But we sat there and we talked for the first time in probably 15 years. And it was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. And I can't say enough good things about it. And I invited him on the show. Now, he is going to have a much different perspective than we do on a lot of things. But when it came to communication, for him and I be able to talk together over the weekend, my gosh, it was just a beautiful, beautiful reunion. And my cousin made that extra special for me this weekend. And I just wanted to mention him. He does watch the show, apparently, from time to time. I don't know if he's watching today, but what an absolute pleasure it was to speak with him. I hope he takes me up on my offer to come on the show, because I'll tell you guys, he not only is he extremely intelligent and talented, but he's his thinking is very deep. So we're going to have a spirited conversation if he does choose to come on. It would be just fantastic. I would love to see that happen.
That's awesome, Sam. That accounts for how good a guy you are, because no matter how much you disagree with him, you say he is amazing, this, and that's pretty cool to see.
He really is. He's intelligent. And when I say he's a musician, when he would come to our house in the summertime when we were kids, he would bring all of his instruments. He plays the drums, the bass, the guitar. If I was to mention his name, I'm sure there are people in our audience who know who he is, because he's been in it for so long. I don't even know how many albums he's produced over the years, but when it comes to music, there's very few that can compare to him. But anyway, hopefully he'll reach out and he'll want to come on. And
that's very cool. There's cousins I won't agree with. I won't say they're not amazing at all.
Well, yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's see. Mark Matson. So I'm guessing it's not Ted Nugent. No, I have had Ted on the show before, and I did reach out to Ted. He is going to come on again at some point, but it's been hunting season, so there was just no chance of him coming on at this point. But speaking of hunting season, Alex, what do you have to tell everybody?
So a lot of you know, for probably 6 weeks or better, watching the trail cams, there's probably 6 or 8 different large bucks that have come through, but I had my eye on one. I will share. Let's see, what's one?
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
I just think he stepped off to get it, and then we'll get back on here.
Okay. Oh, there he is. Okay.
So this is the guy right here. Very, very unique set of attributes with regards to his.
Is he fighting phone calls?
I don't know.
Oh, a different picture.
I'm fighting something. Anyway, so this is the guy right here. You see, he's got a couple of brow tines, very unique. His main tine split into 2, which then split into 2 more. It's very, very unusual, very, very unique. So I've been stalking this guy. Been stalking this guy for weeks. One of my best friends, his wife is a frequent addition to our show, Lisa Piquel. Brian is her husband, Brian Piquel, and he's an avid bird hunter, quail, pheasants. Loves it. When I shared my recent hunting trip, he's like, "I'm not going to lie, I'm really jealous." He wanted to go pheasant hunting, and he said, "Dave, anytime that you need help in Iowa with pheasants, we're on our way."
Sounds good.
So he's never hunted deer, and I said, "Well, here's the dates for rifle season, which opened December 3rd through the 14th this year." And I said, just come down. You can sit in my stand. You can use my rifle. Something will come through. We'll get you one, and you can have that, that experience. So Saturday morning, he set for about 4 hours and said, "My back hurts. I got to get down." So he got down. Then that afternoon, he set again for a couple hours. Nothing came through. And the wind was out of the north. Well, Sunday morning, everything lined up perfectly. And the wind was out of the south, which was a different stand, different location. And I dropped him off about 5:45 in the morning. And at 7:15, he messages me and he goes, "I got him." He called me, I'm sorry. And he said, "I got him." I said, "Him who?" He goes, "I got your buck." I was like, damn it. But here's the thing. I told him, if it comes out, get it. Because what a great first buck. I mean, that's a pretty nice trophy. So he is going to have it taxidermied. We're going to end up with 20 pounds of summer sausage, 20 pounds of jerky, and 20 pounds of ground. Roughly, could be 25. He was a big. It took him and I both about 3 attempts to get that buck up into the back end of the buggy, because he was big. So that's my hunting story. The elusive buck that I chased with a bow that I couldn't get close enough, that I waited patiently with the rifle, and he would come in so early in the morning it was already dark. It was too dark, and he would leave and come out in the evening after it was already too dark, and I didn't get a chance, but Brian bagged the buck. So
and what an absolute phenomenal story for him to tell for the rest of your lives. I mean, that's a big deal.
I got 20 years of shit to give him. He shot my buck.
Exactly.
And I'm sure Brian's retired from deer hunting now. So how's he going to top that one?
Because that's what Allie said. Allie goes, you kind of ruined deer hunting for him, because like every buck that he sees from here on out is he's going to be like, yeah, no, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. She's like, poor Brian.
He'll be sitting for years.
Well, exactly. And he said, I want to bring my son down because, I waited till I was 57 to do this. I think my son needs to experience this. I was like, well, you better hurry up and buy some property because you're not hunting mine anymore.
Exactly. Let's see. Sue B is here. Good morning, Sue B. Wendy said he got old 10-pointer. Was that a 10-pointer, Alex?
We counted 13 points.
Wow. Teresa's Faria Contractors here. She said, Sam, did you get the RV yet so we can take your show on the road? Not yet, Teresa, but I'm looking. Valerie James is here. Good morning, Valerie. April Burgess says, that's a huge buck. Congratulations. Exactly. Tim Shaw 707 said, I had no luck in South Carolina. Deer have been mainly nocturnal, been in an off year. Oh, interesting. All right, let's see.
He didn't fit in the back of the buggy.
Wow.
And he's sticking his tongue out at you.
Yeah, exactly.
Sticking his tongue out. A friend of mine looked at that and he goes, his antlers are kind of crooked and his tongue's sticking out. And maybe he was going, anyway.
Exactly. Hey, Brian just made it. Good morning, Brian. Jess Perry said, you're a good friend, Alex. I would never. Exactly. Dana Mackey said back straps. I don't know what that means. Do you, Alex?
That's the strip of meat that runs down their back. That's where the best steaks live.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, it looks like Dana Mackey knows her stuff when it comes to hunting. I Speak 1717 said, I'll take the back straps as well. Extreme Diecast just made it. Amanda Thomas said, can I ask, why do you hunt, sport or food?
Yes.
Both.
Interesting.
I don't we with the exception of coyotes, that's sport and necessity because they're a nuisance, but I don't shoot something just to shoot it. We eat what we shoot.
Yeah. It's funny talking about hunting. So I had an attorney when I lived in Colorado up in the mountains, and he was an avid big game hunter. The first time I went to his home, my God, you guys, he had boar's heads and he had I don't even remember what they were, but it was every kind of exotic animal you could possibly imagine. And I never really saw the point in doing that. Now, if you're doing it and you're going to eat the meat, that's one thing. But some of the stuff he had up there was just crazy. I don't even remember. I just remember being shocked. So I get it, whether you're doing it for sport or whether you're doing it for food. But I think if you can eat it, then bag it. At least that's how I look at it anyway.
And for deer, it's good to clean out and move on and get the elderly bucks and give the younger ones a chance to grow. And it's a positive thing for the deer community.
Yeah,
it's definitely management of the wildlife. And some of the exotics, just so you understand, Sam, we have a friend up the road. He goes to Africa every year, like every single year. And you would think some of the things that he hunts while he's there, you'd be like, oh my gosh, but the reality is they are a nuisance and an issue for things going on over there. When you look at zebra, when you look at giraffe, when you look at some of the things that they have to manage over there, including the lion population, every part of the world obviously is different. And some people would look at that and be like, oh my gosh, how could you do that? But there is a management piece to the wildlife to ensure that the healthy population is able to remain healthy. The sickly population is removed from the herds. It's there's a whole science to it. It's not just for.
That's a very good point. Very good point, Alex. Sheila's here. Good morning, Sheila. Kingsgrove 1974 said, in the West, a mule deer would be a 6 by 7-pointer. I don't know what that means.
Mule deer are typically larger than white-tailed deer, but I can tell you in southeast Kansas, we have white-tailed bucks that will rival any mule deer.
Wow. So mule deer is bigger than white?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Huh. Sassy Minnesota girl said, Sam, Minnesota first stop. Well, Minnesota will definitely be on one of my stuff, but if I'm going to do this, I'm going to leave from California and I'm going to try and hit every state at some point. So yeah, Minnesota will definitely be on the list. All right, let's see. Mums the Word said that meat usually goes to the natives. Oh, interesting. Well, good. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's see here. Let's move into some stories, and we're going to go through this at a rapid pace because we do have our new sponsor joining us today. But in a huge development, Transportation Secretary Duffy revealed that a massive air traffic control modernization is moving at record pace. They've transitioned a third of the copper to fiber. The last admin said it was going to take years. Administration. They've also hired a project manager that will move our system from analog to digital, just in time for personal flying vehicles. Alex?
Imagine that. It doesn't take long when you have legitimate leadership and project management in place. Things can happen very quickly.
Right. Dave?
Yeah, I've learned in the racing community. When I was in the racing community, I learned from people like Roger Penske, and Trump is exactly the same. When they turn to somebody and say, get it done, they get it done. Plain and simple. This project is supposed to be done by 2028. 12.5 billion of that came from the big beautiful bill, and it's going to be a total of 31.5 billion by the time it's done for. But they say 2028. It's probably going to be done prior to that.
Yeah, I'm sure if Trump's in charge of it. Yeah. So President Trump was awarded the inaugural FIFA Peace Prize at the 2026 World Cup draw in Washington, D.C. Now, I was listening to Dave at News Treason and Joe Rambo, and they were talking about that FIFA rollout that they had in Washington. And apparently, Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. drew these numbers or their names. Supposed to be a random drawing, but all three of them happened to make it. I find it interesting that maybe we talked about the NBA having some issues with cheating, talked about Major League Baseball, and now FIFA coming out and saying, oh, look at Mexico, Canada, and the United States just all happen to get their first draws. I don't know. Are they pointing at something here, guys? What do you think, Dave?
That might be going a little in deep, maybe, but it's one of those back burners to see what happens. If it is to bring stuff to light, they'll get it done the right way.
Right, exactly. Pure Blood Holly John said, not to be confused with the FAFO awards. Exactly, Holly. Oh my gosh, Alex.
Standard response. Is that game where you score more points?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a big soccer fan personally. I never have been, but I mean, some people are really, they're deep into it. I don't really get it, but that's because I was born and raised in California, probably. So the Supreme Court has agreed to rule on President Trump's bid to end birthright citizenship. Now, if I'm correct on my numbers, oh, nice cat mustache. Thank you. If my numbers are correct, I think the Supreme Court has now sided with President Trump 29 out of 31 times. Alex, what do you make of that?
Well, let's see what happens today, because they're arguing some good cases today. Just going to put that out there. I mean, look, he said it both the first time he came through the office, and he's saying it again. We will do things constitutionally. We will do things by the law. And I think that the more times that it goes all the way to the Supreme Court and precedents are set, the more likely we are not to end up in the same frickin' position in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 years.
Yeah, exactly. Dave?
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of stuff is going to be going through the Supreme Court, obviously taking stepping in the right direction across the board. Alex, what are they ruling on today? I was listening to it earlier a little bit.
So whether or not Trump has the ability to relieve people from their positions.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to see how it plays out. So the study that postulated that glyphosate was safe for humans apparently has been retracted 25 years later. Now, this is something I was screaming about 25 years ago. Nobody listened to me. It does bioaccumulate. It is harmful to humans. Dave, what do you think?
Yep, and it's I'm actually at a soil health convention right now in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and that's no different than what Pat talks about. I mean, the stuff is reversible, but you have to give it time in the sense of the microbes turning it over and eating the harmful stuff from the heavy metals and everything else. So, it's a tough situation because it is very useful for the farmer, and I'll still use it because it's like what Pat says. We're kind of painted into a corner that we have to move forward with it. So we're hoping there is stuff brought to light to utilize us for easier and healthier and farming for the future for sure.
Well, and I think it takes time, Dave. It's not something it's not going to turn on a dime, and because it would cripple everything. We can't do that.
Right.
Earl Shannon over on YouTube said, Sam, Minneapolis is a place to visit now. The ice is thick. I think I'll wait till it thaws out, Earl. Exactly. Oh, my gosh. So according to Disclosed TV, Canada has removed Syria from its list of states supporting terrorism. Ooh, that was kind of a cool crown. More capitulation, Alex?
I think the more we know, the more we know, and it continues to be brought to light that previous administrations may have had a hand in color revolutions in other places, and we are coming back around to right the wrongs of the past.
Right. Dave?
Yep. Everything's coming out in the wash. Can't add much more than what Alex just did.
So in reference to our last story, Indiana farmer said, Dave, my stance on it. And they went on to say, my wife is a holistic practitioner and I farm and do all our spraying. What's he talking about there?
Yeah, basically knowing that Roundup isn't the best for us, but we don't have a choice. Basically what I was saying, we're painted into a corner. We have to use it until we find something better or affordable to move forward because that's what we were given. That's what we were raised up on. But the weeds are getting smarter, stronger, and we got to use what we have. But that's something we're learning right now in this. Where I'm at right now on this soil health up here. So Very interesting across the board.
Right. All right. So let's do a sponsor break here, and then let's bring our new sponsor on. But first up, I want to read this verbatim because corporate has asked me to do this and I want to honor their wishes. This is about MyPillow. And this is from MyPillow directly. The past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that they're making it through. They want to thank you for your continued support by passing on some Christmas specials to our listeners. Get the Children's Bible Story Pillow 5-pack for $29.98. My Slippers with a free bottle of leather protectant spray for $39.98. Blankets, comforters, and duvets for as low as $25. And a blowout sale on the standard My Pillows for just $14.98. Use the promo code SAM. You'll get additional discounts. We all should be supporting Mike. He's doing a hell of a job with the election integrity here in America, and I think he's earned our business. Secondly, we have Neil Naturopathic, the only chemical-free, toxin-free hair care products in the world that I'm aware of. Go to neilnaturopathic.com, use the discount code SAM20, SAM20, and you'll get 20% off your order. And then finally, of course, Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Glidden has a website where you can literally ask him any question you can think of when it comes to health and wellness. He made a special offer to our listeners last week, and lots of you took him up on that offer. We'll see if we can get him to do it one more time. I'm not going to promise anything because I can't imagine he would, but who knows? Anyway, if you use the discount code SAM, you'll get a 30% reduction in his membership fees. And then Alex, what about meditation?
Link is in my bio. I wrote a book, Beginner's Guide to Meditation, The Easy Road to a Peaceful Mind. It's available on Amazon. And that's not our final Sam. Let's roll out with the new and improved sponsors.
All right. Well, let's bring him on first. Let's see here. Do you see him there, Alex?
I do. Got it.
Okay, you got it. Okay. So we have a new sponsor, everyone. We have a sponsor by the name of Best Line Racing. Best Line Racing, the CEO and the founder, is a gentleman by the name of Perry, who just happened to pop in with us right now. Good morning, Perry.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Welcome in. Welcome in. We've been working on this for some time, and I want everyone to know that Perry, out of the goodness of his heart, sent all of us products to sample to make sure that we thought this was a good product. Now, this is a little different than what we normally do. We're usually health and fitness. We have MyPillow. We have others. But this is important because it's talking about the health of something that every single one of us on this broadcast owns, and that's a car or a tractor or a truck. And I think it's extremely important that we take care of those assets, and this is one way to do it. So, Perry, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and where you come from and what Best Line Racing's all about.
Well, a lot of people think I'm really silly because I got into this business, about 10 years ago. And, my background's electronic controls, some pretty high-end electronic controls for fluid handling on boats and super yachts and ships and that kind of thing. But I was introduced to the fuel additive business way back then when I was still in the electronics, and did some discovery, built an electronic control for the over-the-road truck drivers that would automatically add fuel additive after the refueling event. So we did all that, but I'm crazy curious. So I wanted to see, what exactly are in all these additives that make all kinds of claims. Turns out a lot of the claims made in the snake oil business, including the fuel additives, are simply claims. There were some people just putting kerosene in a bottle and calling it, it's going to do all these magical things. If you don't know, there's no magic involved in fuel additives or engine oil additives. It's actually science. So I hooked up with some scientists. They're called tribologists in the lubrication and fuel additive world, and came up with products that actually work. I've never sold the cheapest stuff. I'm not looking for volume. I'm looking to provide high quality products. I've been an entrepreneur ever since I was, 12, mowing lawns back then when we could, right? Back when gas was, well, I'm not going to tell you how cheap it was.
You'd be dating yourself, exactly.
Yeah, and this is not AI. If it was, I'd be a lot prettier. But anyhow, that's how I got into the business. I discovered that there was a lot of junk being sold at all kinds of different prices, and I'll explain that. But so we produced an incredible product. Our engine oil additive is really what we're known for. It's our Best Line Racing engine oil additive with our Diamond Nanolube in it. And
what is Diamond Nanolube?
Diamond Nanolube. It's we call it Diamond. It's actually we discovered the Diamond Nano lubricants from another industry. You could look up the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. There's a company that started using it in high pressure applications for like machining and that kind of thing, and they came up with some incredible results. This goes back about 8 years ago, so I started doing the research with that with my tribologist, and discovered in engine oil it produces some incredible results. So people often don't know what a nanoparticle is and a micro. So most of your engine oils are of the micro size. A nanoparticle is 1,000 times smaller.
Wow.
So what that means, the benefit there is that, and the reason we call it diamond, it's a round carbon particle as hard. It has the surface hardness of 10, which is a diamond hardness. So that's it's kind of pretty, right? It makes it's easy to say diamond nanoparticle. so that's a benefit that we have. There are very few other companies that are offering that. I'll just say one of them is Nissan for their high performance engine oil additives. It's very expensive, well, because the Diamond Nano lubricant is expensive. But anyhow, we're one of the only ones on the market that use that, and we will continue just because of of what it can do.
And what's the benefit of using that, Perry?
Yeah, so what it is, you can't hurt it. So the nano-sized particle gets into the surface asperities, right? If you looked at the surface of a cylinder wall under many times magnification, it actually looks like a dried out sponge. There's a lot of asperities, rough surface. Most of the other products out there are micro size, and they kind of roll across the top of those, try to protect it. It's called a boundary layer. Our product with a nanoparticle gets inside of the asperity, so they're no longer open. It's all they're filled, right? So it gives us a smoother, almost frictionless surface. So when you reduce the friction, you automatically increase horsepower and mileage, right? Because that motor is rolling over, doing its thing much easier, right? So that's what we're known for. Our Bestline Racing engine oil additives are used in the farming industry and heavy trucks, and obviously we saw a lot on our website and Amazon, in the 12-ounce bottle. So a 12-ounce bottle services about 5 quarts of oil for your daily driver. Now, if it's a high performance motor, higher horsepower, or you just run it hard or pull in a trailer, you double that. You can't overuse it. The other thing, I'm just going to say it because I've seen it on other people's reports lately. Some of these influencers that may or may not be paid and may or may not be real people. With the AI, you can't tell anymore. But I've seen it several times. I just need to mention it, that somebody will say, hey, I used this and my oil pressure went up. Guys, do you know if that's a good thing or bad thing? So, it can be, but if oil pressure goes up from its normal level, it's your oil pump is kind of like your heart, right? It's pumping at a certain rate, and if all the passages are open, your blood pressure is stable. It's at a certain rate, depending on, in the car, it's depending on the RPM. But let's say at idle, you're at 20 psi. You added something to your oil, and now it went from 15 psi to 20. That's a problem, because what that says, you've either thickened up the oil, so your viscosity is thicker. The oil is now moving through all those small passageways slower. And that's a problem because oil is your first line of defense. It's your primary coolant. So if you're letting that oil go through there slowly, it's getting hotter. Those bearings and surfaces are getting hotter. And the problem is you won't know it until that motor dies.
Wow.
Right. So now in NASCAR, that's a whole different story. If they're running a 200-mile track, they only want that motor to last 201 miles. Right. So they can, not in all cases, they can reduce the viscosity way down, so it reduces the friction, so that motor has more horsepower, right? But that's not your car. Your daily driver, you want it to make it.
Although I've heard stories about Alex and the way he drives around Kansas. But let's move over to Dave in terms of farming. Dave, what questions or insights can you ask Perry here concerning farming equipment?
Yeah, we've been using his diesel additive in our fuel and seen better fuel economy across the board on it for sure. Excited to see that, Perry. And I'm running running oil additive in 2 of my cars. So a lot quieter for sure. Excited to see that. So yeah, it's showing. We ran it at the end of the season, and it's definitely showing what you said it would happen for sure.
All right, nice. Yeah, our diesel fuel additive, it's it's been a really competitive field, so we haven't pushed the, a smaller bottle. We've been selling our 55-gallon drums and totes. But this product, it's new in the way that we've combined a lot of things into one product. So it's super concentrate. 1 gallon treats 1,600 gallons of fuel, which at the bottom line, it means that you're spending about a nickel per gallon is your treat rate. But because you're going to save 5 to 10% of fuel, and that's just fuel savings, it's going to return about 30 cents. So you spend 5 cents to get 30 cents. Sounds like a pretty good deal, right? But it's also going to keep those fuel injectors clean. So it's going to atomize that fuel. You're going to get a better burn. We're also increasing the cetane by about 6 or 7 points. So that's going to give you instantly more power and a better a better, cleaner burn. But it's also going to clean those DPFs for those of you that still leave them on your truck.
Perry, you said something about an injector, and Crystal Zeski said, I have an injector stuck open on my International Twin Turbo Diesel Max Force. Would your product help that?
Is that, I'm not familiar with that injector. Is that fuel lubricated or engine oil lubricated?
I don't know what she's referring to.
It's a diesel.
Yeah. I assume fuel.
Yeah, okay, I would assume fuel, yeah. And then Rick's, go ahead. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so that,
we just got a warning here. Hold on 1 second. Wow, that's weird. Did you guys see that?
No.
We got a live visibility has been restricted. You must have pissed somebody off, Perry. Wow. Well, at least we're still live, so.
That's right.
Anyway, go ahead, answer that question, Perry.
Not sure what that's about.
What's that?
Who was the warning for?
It didn't say. It just said your live had a warning, and I've already placed the appeal, so I have no idea. Go figure.
Okay.
So the diesel fuel treatment has extra lubricity in it also. So it's going to clean those surfaces and lubricate them better. So the odds are, unless that injector is damaged physically, it should clean it up and get it to free up and do what it's supposed to do.
It basically cleans the carbon and cleans the injector if it's sticky or stuck.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then Rick Sr. said he has a truck that has 375,000 miles on it. Would your product be helpful for his?
Absolutely. Yeah. At any rate. Yeah, for sure. The engine oil treatment for sure. Well, and I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention. Is that diesel or gas?
He didn't say.
Okay. It doesn't matter. But yeah, the engine oil treatment for sure, it's going to help protect that motor and give it a longer life, regardless of how many miles are on it. I've got a number of customers that come back to me that have almost 1 million miles on their gas motor.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's use the product. It's going to help it regardless of age.
My wife's 2004 Sequoia is a V8 Toyota, and we put your product in. She is at 470,000 miles. Original engine, original transmission, all still original car. And so she drives a lot of miles. And we're now on our second bottle with her car just since you sent it to me. So every 3,000 she gets an oil change. And she has noticed that efficiency is a little better. It's idling a little smoother, little less vibration out of the motor. So again, another testament to how great your products are.
Yeah, no, that's great. I appreciate that feedback. But we have a lot of Toyota fans. By the way, I don't know why, but we have a friends of ours called Snail Trail. They're off-road Toyota guys that promote our product. But yeah, Toyota Motors love our engine treatment.
Interesting. Well, everybody, so as I said, Bestline is now one of our sponsors, and Perry has made a very generous offer. If you go to samshalhoub.com, you'll see the new button on our website that says Bestline Racing. Perry, tell everybody what they'll get if they decide to purchase that.
I was struggling with what to do, give you something special, but we went ahead and let all the dogs out on this one. It's 50% off. And
wow.
Yeah. And I've never done that before. It's just for today, unless Sam talks us out of it. But as of 9 o'clock this morning till midnight tonight, I think is how it's set up. It's going to be half off for the 12-ounce bottles, the gallons of the engine treatment, and also the gallons of the diesel fuel treat. So any of those are going to make a big difference in your vehicle.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So everybody go to samshalhoub.com, click on the Best Line Racing button. That'll take you to Perry's website. And do they need to enter a code, Perry?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. Yes. So while you're checking out, you put the product in your cart, and during checkout, you'll see a small box that asks for a coupon code. The coupon code is curiously enough, Sam. So
yeah, exactly. Makes it easy. Exactly.
Uppercase S, by the way. It's got to be uppercase S-A-M, just like you would write it. So
excellent. Excellent. Well, Perry, thank you so much for joining us here. We are welcome to bring you into the family. We'll be promoting your products on every show. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, and I'm looking forward to seeing people getting real results on something that is so important. It's part of our lives. Every person, whether you're in LA, Kansas, Iowa, or Utah, the fact is we got to take care of our vehicles, and we're so grateful that you decided to come on with us, Perry.
Well, our vehicles are one of our biggest assets for most people, right beside your house. So let's keep it living longer and save you some money. Save you a lot of money, actually.
Well, reality is, you should be getting regular oil changes, as everybody should know. Sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. But another benefit to an engine oil treatment like Best Lines is we have busy lives, and you look down and you're like, oh crap, I'm 1,000 miles past my oil change. This is going to help you. And even at retail price, for the oil treatment, if you're getting your oil changed every 3 months, or you're getting it changed once or twice a month, that little investment in your engine goes a long ways, because replacing the engine, if you did have an issue, talking $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, if you can even find the engine or the parts to replace anymore. I'm also running it in a 1982 Chevy Blazer with a 350 in it.
Yes.
Take your pick, guys.
Yeah. So real quick, if we have another couple minutes. So some of the things that you need to be aware of, especially when it's cold like this, is that the crankcase develops moisture. Just like, if you have a glass of ice, you're going to have water dripping off onto the floor. In your crankcase, every time you turn that motor off, it cools off. And in cold weather, you've got the moisture in the air getting into the crankcase. And then that moisture is going to end up in the bottom of the crankcase. You want to expel that. So when you fire that car up, let it run 20 or 30 minutes to heat it up, get rid of that moisture. But our product has antacids in it also that increase the life of the additive. So the additive packages that are in the oil are what protects all the pieces and parts of your motor. If you get too much condensation in there, it'll make the oil turn acidic, which attacks the additives that make it less effective. So there you go. Warm that car up and keep it warm, and let it burn off some of that water.
Hey Perry, one question before you go. David Morales over on YouTube said that I understand that nano bonding remains despite an oil change. Is that correct?
That's right. Thank you for that. Yes. As the oil drains off, the nanoparticles are going to stay in those asperities of the surfaces. So it certainly helps with the cold starts, because cold starts is when most of the wear happens in your motor, right? Cold starts are terrible. We remain on the metal parts and keep those parts protected for the cold starts.
Excellent.
Great question.
Excellent. All right, everybody. So Perry, Dave, Alex, any other questions before we sign off?
No,
with Perry?
I appreciate it, Perry. This is a great chance for somebody to reach out for half the price and get their product, and I'm sure they'll be getting more orders in for sure.
Yeah, and the shipping happens real quick too. By the way, we ship it within a day or two, and you get it in 2 or 3 days. So it's fast shipping on the engine oil treatments. The fuel additive takes a little longer.
Very, very, very generous of you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Barry.
Hopefully,
all right, we'll
live.
bring you back on in the very near future. Be prepared because I'm sure we're going to have a whole lot more questions.
Awesome. Appreciate you,
Barry,
guys.
thanks for being here, brother.
Thank
have
you.
a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we got I placed an appeal as soon as I got the warning, and they denied it. I don't know what the hell we said. I don't know what the heck went on there, but for whatever reason, they gave us a red flag.
It was James's fault.
Exactly.
Apparently, TikTok doesn't want us talking about lube.
Exactly. I didn't think about it from that angle. Maybe you're right, Alex. Well, let's move on here. So we've got a couple more stories. Japan lodged a formal protest with China after 2 Chinese Navy J-15 fighter jets repeatedly conducted radar lock-on against Japanese F-15s. Now, we've had all this action over here in Venezuela. We know what's going on in Ukraine. All of a sudden, is Taiwan and Japan and China going to jump off? What do you guys think, Alex?
Did somebody say that it was going to happen? Did somebody say that Taiwan and China were going to be, a place that we might have to interject? Look, to understand why Taiwan is such a hot topic for the world, 90% of the semiconductor chips, your computer chips, your memory chips, everything that has anything to do with the computer is made where? Taiwan. So if you control Taiwan, you control the world right now. I'm just saying. So interesting that the spotlight is shifting. We've talked about the cornered dog. I'm not scared of a mean dog, but I'm scared of a frightened dog. And I think that Deep State's probably pretty scared. And this might be one of their attempts to take the spotlight off of their nefarious acts in another situation, false flag. I don't know. We'll see. Pay attention. Buy it on the TikTok shop.
Exactly. Dave?
Well, it's kind of interesting timing that we're going to be eliminating some of Chinese purchases on our chips too. So kind of strange timing on that.
Yeah, I would agree. So moving on, according to the Gateway Pundit, President Trump and RFK Jr. are going to fast track the review of childhood vaccination schedules and demand science-based overhauls. Now, as you guys know, I've been in this fight for almost 40 years, and I am just tickled pink to see that they are bringing this out to the masses. 35 years ago, when I would talk about these things, people looked at me like I had a horn coming out of my forehead, like I was crazy. Yet today, now it's coming into the mainstream. Dave, what do you make of it?
Shouldn't it be based off of that?
Exactly.
I mean, isn't that common sense?
Exactly.
Like, we just can't throw a dart at a dartboard and expect it to hit the bullseye every time. So, and especially with our kids, it's mandatory. It should be point blank every time. Be that way. It should be based off of that all day long.
100%. Alex?
I mean, our Health and Wellness Fridays have spoken multiple times about this very scenario. Our body has the ability, when given the proper care, to take care of itself. So many stories about, all right, who's got the fidget spinner?
I don't know.
Who's got it?
I could hear it. Just saying. So it's very interesting that now is the time that these subjects are coming to the forefront and conversations are being had. Age of disclosure on all fronts.
Yep, 100%. So the next story I find is very interesting because here in California, specifically in Los Angeles, I have a lot of friends in the entertainment industry, and they all have their panties in a bunch because apparently Netflix is trying to buy Warner Brothers. That's a big deal. It's a $72 billion deal. And then there's more information that's coming out with Paramount Plus and what they're trying to do as a counteroffer and a hostile takeover, which we'll talk about more tomorrow once I get more information. But what do you guys think? Netflix has been highlighted as being nefarious in the very recent past, in the last few years, and now all of a sudden they're going to buy Warner Brothers? You think it's going to go through, Dave?
Well, I mean, I would say that's where the most of the money's come into play, where Netflix and on-demand TV is where the money and where the future is. So I think it probably will.
Yeah, exactly. Alex?
Time is going to tell, or is this just another
rug pull
act in the movie to get us to look and see that Lex Luthor just purchased 3 different missiles and he's ready. So
exactly. Hey, David said, what's the additive brand name again, please? It's called Bestline Racing, and if you go to samshalhoub.com, click on the Bestline Racing button, use the code SAM, you'll get 50% off till midnight tonight.
And promote that if you got friends that are interested, promote that out too, because that's what I'm going to do on FB and everything else, because that's a heck of a deal. Like, that's crazy. Yeah,
exactly. Martini Time said, I just ordered 2 bottles. Excellent, Martini Time. Good job. All right, so last story today, I should say, Thailand launched airstrikes along a disputed border with Cambodia. And now we've got Ukraine, we've got Venezuela, we have China and Taiwan, now Thailand and Cambodia. What the hell's going on here, guys? Alex?
I'll say it again. The scared dog is backed into a corner, and they're dancing around LA with a cigarette lighter, trying to find a place that they can get that damn thing going.
Exactly, Dave.
They must know James is coming over to Thailand. I think they're starting to fire up over there.
Exactly. They know he's coming. Oh my gosh. Right. Valerie James said, I just got a gallon. Excellent, Valerie James. And yes, it's Sam with the capital S. Bestline Racing. Yes. All right, everybody. So let's see. Where are we at? 106,000 likes. Oh my word. You guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Let me give some shout outs here before we get to the dancing. Charlie, John Gwynn, Mary Lise Brown, Benji 1959, Nurse, Martini Time, Brian Dellett.1. And everybody, again, please go over to Brian.Dellett.1 and give him a follow. We need to get him up to 250 followers. April, Wendy, Indiana Farmer, Laura McCrary, Wendy J, Kingsgirl 1974, Pureblood Holly Johns, Joe Lynn, Towie Bixby, Sassy Minnesota Girl, Dobermom 79, Joy, and I Speak 1717, and the list goes on. Thank you all for all the gifts. Thank you so much. All right, Alex, you ready to cue it up? No pun intended.
Man, I was born.
I know you were.
What are you talking about?
Wait. I got to close this. Sorry, everybody on the other platform.